After the race in Nashville, much of the talk on social media and in the media itself was about and between the incident of Carson Hocevar and Ricky Stenhouse getting together, causing Stenhouse to lose any option of competing in the race, while Hocevar went on to compete for the win. Everyone thought that Hocevar was going to get dumped the next week or at some point, but before they even got to Michigan, the beef had been squashed. And this was something that was disappointing for a lot of fans. After all, Ricky Stenhouse is the same one that punched Kyle Busch in the face last year. But the thing is, back in the day, you had these rivalries of many kinds that would spark off and then be there for weeks, months, maybe even years. And there's a lot of different famous ones that we can think of early on. For instance, Richard Petty and David Pearson. Both were on top of the world at the greatest stage, 1-2 in so many races, and because of that, they had a bit of a rivalry, a friendly one. Friendly one as well between Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. They were both people from two extremely different backgrounds, different fan bases, different everything. But their rivalry was sparked through both of them being the best that ever did it at that time. And because of it, they were able to shoot NASCAR into the stratosphere, or at least get it ready and primed to do so entering the 2000s. Of course, when you look at Dale Earnhardt, it's Dale versus DW, Dale versus Rusty, Dale versus Bodine, Dale versus Elliott, Dale versus everyone. But Dale Earnhardt was very good with that, and it's, I think, a lot of why people talk about him, and that legend of Dale Earnhardt only grows every year. Heck, in recent memory, we've seen shorter rivalries and beefs that have had really explosive endings that we think about today. For instance, Denny Hamlin versus Chase Elliott in 2017 at the end of the year. Elliott being taken out by Hamlin at Martinsville for the win, only for Elliott to get his revenge on Denny at Phoenix a couple weeks later. Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth, their 4-week rivalry, which culminated in both of them losing any shot of a championship that season. Hell, even a couple years ago in the next-gen era, Ross Chastain versus Denny Hamlin versus Chase Elliott versus everyone. Everybody seemed pissed at Ross Chastain, and it went on for about a solid year. It was one of the most fun storylines, I think, as a NASCAR fan I ever got to watch, because Ross rocked the boat. But it seems like nowadays we really have basically something that never gets past the night of what happened. But the narrative that follows, it's just not there. But the thing is that there's so many things that we compare it to. We compare it to NASCAR's past, but we also compare it to other sports in general. For instance, though, stick and ball sports, they have plenty of rivalries, but they have it baked into the competition through divisions, and we simply don't have that. For instance, the NFL, I know that my Minnesota Vikings are going to be playing the Green Bay Packers twice a year. I know that both fan bases absolutely despise each other, and I also know for the better part of both of their histories together, they have been very competitive and made it a good rivalry. It's not like it's lopsided, say like the Packers and the Bears. But we've also seen rivalries that aren't just baked into sports, but they actually build them and have been really easy to follow. For instance, earlier I talked about Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt. Those two were so polar opposite with fan base, with personality, with the way that they came up through the ranks. Hell, even their paint schemes were different. The Rainbow Warrior versus Darth Vader, the Intimidator, the Man in Black, all those different names. And it helped grow NASCAR in a way that I don't think two drivers ever can again. When you look at Formula One, for instance, in 2021, that amazing battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, I think that might be part of the reason with NASCAR is that we can't have that continuous battle through the year like Formula One did, because there's so many times it's chopped up in the name of entertainment. Whereas these two battled to the bitter end in a controversial finish to the season with plenty of controversial moments leading up to it. Say what you want about F1, they were cooking that year. Hell, if you want to go back to the stick and ball sports, the WNBA and women's basketball in general has become more relevant than ever because of the rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. It's very one-sided, but everybody knows who the other two are, and everybody knows who they are going to be supporting one way or another in it. And you just don't have that in NASCAR right now. So why is it so difficult to keep these up in NASCAR? Well, I think there's three really big reasons and then a bunch of different auxiliary reasons out there as well, like the playoffs and other things like that. But the first really big one is corporate America. It's always been there in NASCAR. Let's not act like it hasn't. Sponsors have been the lifeblood of this sport since the beginning. But nowadays, I think it gets more and more complex to navigate by every given day, change, you name it. It is so different to be politically correct in the corporate sense now than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And it really hinders a lot of personality. Does Ally Bank really want to see their brand in the middle of a fight? Does Shell want to see an expletive-filled rant from Joey Logano? Hell, I would love to see Alex Bowman get into a fight and Joey Logano F-bomb it out to a bunch of people. But I don't think that a lot of corporations and brands who have carefully curated their reputations in their industry or in general, I don't think they want those sandblasted by a 10-second clip of a NASCAR driver. I think the drivers themselves are a big issue with this, and some of them didn't even have a chance, in my opinion, of being able to go out there and be different. These guys have lived and breathed racing forever, for as long as they can remember in their lives. Hell, some as young as the age of 5 or 6 were already getting media training, knowing how to navigate, what to say in an interview and not say the wrong thing. There's a reason that somebody like Ross Chastain, who came up in a different way, sticks out. Just like there's a reason that somebody that acts like an ass, like Connor Jones did last year, sticks out for another reason. Because these drivers more or less come up in very similar ways now. It might be different pathways, but the pathways rhyme a lot. And they also all know each other. I was watching an old clip from about 2011 with Jeff Gluck and others talking about this same exact subject. And one of the things they brought up is that back in the day when Jeff Gordon entered the sport in the middle and start of the 90s, the drivers really didn't know each other. Nobody had each other's phone numbers, and rivalries persisted longer in that time. And I'll just say this. Many of the drivers probably aren't going to like hearing this if they watch this, but a lot of them just don't have it in them to not give an F. I mean, the thing is that a lot of them won't act past the moment itself. They might have a moment with another driver. They might have maybe had something in the past they've done, but then had it squashed out. It's why I like somebody like Carson Hocevar. I could totally see him having a rivalry with somebody for weeks on end, similar to the way that Ross and Denny did. Both of them really could not have given a damn what the other thought, and that's why I think it persisted so damn long. Nowadays, drivers, to their own benefit, actively avoid and punish rivalries and wrongdoers more than I think that were done before. And I think a big part too is social media. Any narrative on the fan side of things gets ground out and just pushed into the ground by the next Sunday. For instance, it wasn't a rivalry, but look at the Hail Melon. That was insane. And if you go back and watch it to this day, it is still insane that it actually worked. But by the next Sunday, it was old news. Why? Because it's the internet era. Everything moves quicker. So not only are the drivers not really helping push this, not only are those in the industry helping push this either, neither of them are, but for us fans, stuff gets played out quickly. We see those clips come out Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday at the latest. By the time they get back to the track, it's all squashed out because they all know each other, they all call each other, and it's just all is kind of boring once you get there. So now I want to pass it on to you. What is your favorite rivalry in NASCAR history? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like in this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. Until next time, have a good one.